Welcome everybody to the GBBC Part 2, okay? Where you guys get all the news, all the info you would ever need on Master Duel, alright? Everything you ever need, tournaments, meta, like leaks, everything you ever want. So we're gonna start right away. We have Mordred over here, right? Mordred, say hi.
Hello.
Hello,
Sup,
okay.
sup.
And usually we start the GBBC with leaks, but as far as I know, there hasn't been any real leaks like happening so far. You know, like no like archetypes or anything like that. So we're gonna have to skip it this time. Um, so we're gonna have to go straight into the meta talk. Mordred, what is your opinion on the current meta? You know, what is
Blue is
your
best deck.
what?
Blue is best deck. Everything else kinda mid. Snake Eye is kinda disappointing. I expected to perform more. Memento I personally dislike. I don't think it's a horrible deck, but I also think it's a very good deck. I don't think it's a deck that will keep up um for a long time. I genuinely don't see it. But
So
other than that, like other decks basically don't exist. It's like the only decks like we should really be talking about are Blue Eyes, Snake Eyes, Finsmith Millennium, Memento, and I guess that those are the real decks. Like all the other decks are
yeah,
mythics.
so obviously those are the only real decks, you know. But something I do wanna talk about is I've talked to other people as well, and I, along with a couple other peoples, you know, I'm of the belief that there's two tier one decks. Do you agree with that?
Oh, um, I agree there is two, but like I don't know if I will agree which two. Like you have to tell me what
I
do you
mean,
think
Snake
about.
Eyes and Blue Eyes, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's weird because Blue Eyes is such is so represented, while I think Snake Eyes became like very under presented because we're all tired of it.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
uh,
I
the
think Blue Eyes might seem a little bit better than it actually is, which still doesn't mean that it's not that it's a like bad deck. I think it might be the best deck of the four, but it's very hard to tell because so many people play it, and we didn't really have a chance to see other options because people are not exploring enough. I would say.
yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get at. So like the case of representation is very real, uh in the sense of you can't really like if you look at like Master Duel meta with like the tier list, which is basically like what people are bringing to tournaments pretty much, right? You can see that like
Yep.
like Blue Eyes like triple the power level of Snake Eyes Finsmith right now, which is obviously not true, right? But like
Yeah.
it's just
I
that
mean,
people are so tired of Snake Eyes that now that there's actually a deck that can compete with Snake Eyes, you know, we're just like all shifting to it simply because we're tired of it. I personally don't think Blue Eyes is like a more fun deck than Snake Eyes, you know, but like we're just tired of Snake Eyes, right? I personally think like
wait,
Blue Eyes
yeah.
is a very boring deck. You know, it can't go second for shit. You know, it can create some kind of like known games kind of situations where it's like just hand trap sacking. You know, but like it's a new deck. You know, it's something fresh. So just that alone like creates a big difference in representation. But I still do believe that Snake Eyes Finsmith is slightly better, but it's just like everybody's just playing Blue Eyes for, you know, as we said, just tired of Snake Eyes, you know. Let the
Yeah.
old man rest, you
Yeah, you
know.
also have to build Snake Eyes deck right, and most people don't know how to actually do it. I mean, after losing Beatrice, I think this is kind of the only format. Like TCG doesn't have OSS. OCG has Diabellstar, Bonfire, and Wanted all at one. So like this is the format, the first format that doesn't have Beatrice, but is still um, it doesn't have Beatrice, but Snake Eyes is still very relevant. So like there will be like some testing before we can actually know what the best build is, but my like hunch or personal opinion is that we are gonna say bye bye to Snake Eyes pretty soon. Due to the ban list, I don't think it will be around for the next Duelist Cup. It
You
wouldn't make sense, right?
you think he's gonna get
Um,
murked next ban list again?
yeah, I think there are gonna be slight hits because right now I don't know how much Konami understands the state of the game currently, but this is for sure not the first time that it happened. But I if they hit Blue Eyes in any way, that is going to be very bad for the game. Like if they start hitting things like putting Sage to 2, I don't know, something stupid like that, Wishes to 2 or something like that. I think they're just gonna create Snake Eyes 2.0, where we will once again have an inconsistent meta deck, which we already have for like past year since they started hitting Snake Eyes. So I think they shouldn't repeat the mistake, and I think they should leave Blue Eyes alone. It's a completely fine deck, but I think even though Snake Eyes Finsmith is not as represented now, I still think that it needs to be toned down a bit more, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the thing about current Snake Eyes Finsmith that I kind of think could stay like this is the fact that um there's like Melisse and Brazil around the corner, right? So like 1 month, maybe 2 months, like it should be like very near. So having Snake Eyes to kind of like create that kind of like non-dominant one deck formats might be nice, but at the same time, on a competitive level, I think that like having multiple decks that can compete in one format is kind of miserable
Um,
because then having to prepare for all of them just becomes like so bad. I remember this happened in a DC Cup, like maybe like a year ago. No, like a bit more than a year ago. But what happened is there were like five, I think, good decks in the format. Like D-Link was super strong, Pearly was super strong, Lab was super strong, Branded was super strong, and I think there was another deck. And
that
these
was 2023.
Eh. And these, it was so miserable to prepare for a DC Cup, right? Because you would just like play Bestials against for like I don't know branded and like maybe lab, right? And then you'd fight Purdy, and like they would just play around it, and your Bestials are dead, right? And then you would just like side other things for other decks, and then they would just be dead in other matchups. So like on a competitive level, I think it's like kind of miserable to have multiple decks all compete for the top spot because then it just like it becomes super hard to like prepare. But at the same time, on like a more like enjoyment scale, I think it's fine to have multiple decks in the format.
I don't think I can agree actually, because when you have one dominant deck, as we've seen in the Tempai format, it's you either play the best deck or you play a thing that beats the best deck, and then you have situations like Voiceless Voice becoming good because it was because Floodgates were good against Tempai, Stun Labyrinth being good, and stuff like
I
that.
mean,
And
okay,
then if you
so
want to
so
play
Tenpai
anything else aside from those two, yeah,
Tenpai I think is a bad example because Tenpai is a deck that like indirectly promotes toxic gameplay, right? Because it's so hard to like know what they're gonna hit you with turn two. So the best bet is just to like do toxic shit, like just like voiceless with like triple solems, floodgates, all that jazz, right? I think that was just like in general a bad state for the game. But like for example, another dominant format was I think the last DC Cup. Like obviously Tempai was like still sort of represented, but like the format
it was
was
Snake Eyes.
dominant by
It
Snake
was
Eyes.
Snake Eyes for
Like
me.
it was like far and beyond the best deck. So
Yeah, but that's once again the state where we have you either play the best deck or you think
yeah,
you play a
but
deck that
but
beats
but
the best
in
deck,
that in
which
that
I hate.
format in that format it was like on a competitive level it was a bit better to like prepare for the deck, right? So
Yes,
because
but
you yeah.
that's because Snake Eyes doesn't really have hard counters. Bestials it doesn't like they don't have
Yeah, it's
bestials
it,
that much
in
and stuff
general
like that.
it was like the problem with that was the fact that it just had like Snake Eyes in general plays through too much stuff. It's like it was a very high power level like format,
Yeah,
right?
it used to play.
S-
It used to play. But Blue Eyes, on the other hand, if Blue Eyes is the one and only dominant deck, you will see people playing things that beat exclusively Blue Eyes. You know, putting cards like Unending Nightmare to dodge Drill Beam, playing a lot of Bestials. D-Link was first in rated, like abusing
yes,
the
yes,
like
yes.
90% of your matchups being Blue Eyes, and that's something I dislike. I dislike my deck building creativity being limited by what's the best deck, because if I like I have to dedicate certain amount of spots already to beat Maxi, if I don't want to play Blue Eyes, and now I have to put like if 90% of my matchups are Blue Eyes, I for sure need to put some sort of Blue Eyes hate in my deck, and now I'm left with Engine, Maxi hate, hand traps, and Blue Eyes hate, and like that's like very black and white deck building, which I completely dislike, you know.
Yeah, but like it feels like it feels more like it doesn't feel like correct when you do it. Like it doesn't feel like you're like making a good deck in that case, right? But like it feels like you're more prepared, right? Because like as I said, like in formats where there's many like different decks that you could play against, it just feels so ass because like you don't know what to dedicate spots to, right? Like you'll have like
Yeah,
for
but
example like 12 like spots, right? Flex spots, give or take, right? Maybe less. And then you'll have to split like 5 for like two types of decks and 5 for two others, you know? Like for example, like Ogre is really, really good against Blue Eyes, but at the same time it's kinda bad against Snake Eyes, right? Like there's very few things you could hit in Snake Eyes with Ogre that actually make like a very big difference, right? So it's that kind of case, it's that kind of situation where like you don't know what to play, right? Because like Imperm, for example, can be good but also can be bad against other decks.
I
So
guess.
yeah, so that's kind of it. But I guess like just from like a personal enjoyment kind of view, I would kind of like Snake Eyes to remain as is and see how it does when Ryseal and Malice come.
Mm, I don't think I would want that. I don't know. I just want completely new format. We need complete reset on the format. Like I think as long as we have Snake Eyes around the game, like around as a good deck, the game will be miserable.
Mm,
Because like I don't know, if I swear to God, if I have to see one more Snake Eyes Ash getting normal summon, bro, I would genuinely think bad things. Like I don't know. I don't know. And also like the thing is even when we get Malice and Ryziel, we'll have kind of a dual format because those two decks will be dominant. So
yeah,
we will have a problem like, do I put Lancia in? Do I not put Lancia in because it sucks against it's
it sucks
that's
against
that
everything else. Yeah.
it's a brick against Ryziel and everything else. Um, but at the same time, I think if they know what they are doing and they remove some very problematic cards, for example, Appaloosa, and leave Malice as it
Appaloosa
is.
honestly like has to go. Like
We,
it's long overstayed its welcome. Uh
yes, because Malice doesn't really have a negate. You know, when you look at TCG Malice, the deck doesn't put up negates. It puts up a banish, like one or two banishes. It puts up like very strong grind game and resource, recyclement, with white binder and stuff. But when you like add Appaloosa on top of like banish two cards, the same. It's the Snake Eyes problem. Like Snake Eyes is a very cool deck when there is no Appaloosa around. You know, like if I have to make Silhouette Rabbit instead of Appaloosa and set Azurun and play one more brick, for example, that's fine. But if I can just turn anybody's into Appaloosa and then like I just look at my hand, like
yeah,
normal
so
opponent normal summon Snake Eyes Ash, I look at my hand and I'm like, yeah, this is maybe breakable, but my opponent is going to make Appaloosa, so never mind. You know?
yeah, like for example, like the problem with like Snake Eyes Finsmith was like for example, Snake Eyes Fire King, like a good hand for Snake Eyes Fire King will end on like more number of disruptions than Snake Eyes Finsmith, right? But what makes
Yep.
Snake Eyes Finsmith like so broken, like the third one, is that it's you can't cheat out the interactions, right? You like for example against Snake Eyes Fire King, you can like call by a Garunix, right, and that will clear like one of two interruptions, sometimes three, right, depending on what they have set up. So or like you call by a princess, you know, like you call by a Kirin, you know, there's a bunch of things that are actually pretty high level that you can just cheat with one card. You can talent steal an Apollousa, you know, and that just again is like a lot of value, right? Whereas against Sega Finsmith, you can't do that. You try to like talent take, they have Sylvia or Desiree, right? You try to like you try to like beat over something, they have SP, you know, like it turns like board states where you have to like just play through all three negates of the Appaloosa. Like you can't cheat it out. You can't like just bait stuff out, which is so like cursed sometimes because you know it's three negates. You have six cards in hand, like sometimes usually like five or four because I assume you hand trapped
Yeah,
and they still went full combo. You know, like it's
yeah, you
just
can enter them three
it's the
times and
fact
it's
that
still
it's
miserable.
they have an answer for almost anything you might try to do. That is the problem. And Appaloosa just like being a one card, three interruptions is like so busted.
Yeah, yeah, Apo needs to go. Like that's like that's nothing new. Nothing. It's not a hot take. Like it just needs
Yeah,
to go. Definitely,
Apple
it is
just
what it
like
is.
honestly does need to go. But on the other hand, what do you think about like people taking Typhoon for the Blue Eyes matchup?
Uh, Typhoon is very good right now. Typhoon is an insane guy. I don't know, like in other decks,
No, not
but
no 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 not the exceeds, not the exceeds. Are you looking at my stream?
okay, okay, okay. The trap, yeah,
Like
cope.
it's very good against Blue Eyes, right? But
Yep, cope. I don't know. It's I I don't know. Like it is all right. Like it's like playing Ghost Ogre, but that is if you want to play 6 copies of Ghost Ogre, or if you play a deck that like maybe plays Dominus Impulse, so you just play Typhoon instead of Ogres, I guess. But Typhoon like is very cool concept, and I think if people didn't play during the Fire King format, I don't think that like if it wasn't good when Fire King was peak, I don't think it's good now.
I
You
mean,
know,
no. The thing, the reason why Typhoon wasn't good when Fire King was peak is because they just have the Sanctuary to like protect, right? And that alone
you can
just
pop
like
Sanctuary. You
what?
know,
No, you
you can
can't.
just pop
You
Sanctuary.
can't because usually like the way it works is you need two or more spells and traps on the field to trigger it. And the way like you activate Sanctuary, it's only one spell and trap on the field, so you can't activate this as a hand trap. So it it's like a very specific case that this works only because of Blue Eyes, right? Because you would have the field spell for sure, and then you would place the trap, and then you would just be able to pop the trap. You know, you'll
I mean,
be able to deny a lot of stuff. And the reason why it's like better than Ogre is because it does obviously like play around some like in case they're on call by stuff like that. But the reason it's better than Ogre it's because you can sometimes play around Ogre in Blue Eyes, right? So you can make the level 9 synchro, right, and then activate the trap, which that's something. However, like with this, as soon as they put two bodies on the field, you can just like Typhoon pop the trap. Even if they set something, that's still fine because you cleared one of the synchros, you cleared the trap, so they don't get like the trap back.
the
Uh,
issue is that this doesn't really it doesn't really end Blue Eyes turn. Like it is impactful for sure. But like for example, if you want to remove if you want to remove True Light the moment it's placed in the field, they can just chain it and set wishes. And if you want to wait to remove it for when it activate, they will already have synchro to negate True Light in graveyard. So it is like it's like the fact that they can just chain True Light and just keep playing makes this card not impactful enough because this is the type of card you play when you are sure that this card will just end the opponent's turn. Because this card is very conditional, it's very good into only one matchup, And
But
like aside from that, it's just fucking dust tornado. Like
fair enough.
yeah.
And the other thing about this type of card, right, is that, how do I put this? Because Blue Eyes is like most of your matchups right now, I don't think it's like terrible considering it, right? I did actually give it a shot, and I gave it a shot in my Memento deck. For people who don't know, Memento is a deck that plays a lot of engine, right? The engine can be very strong, so it's fine because you don't play too many hand traps. However, when you just open all engine and you're up against like a full Blue Eyes board, that's not good enough. However, Blue Eyes is a deck that like Ash is like pretty weak against it. There's not too many things you can Ash. Like Veiler can be weak. Like most hand traps just feel weak because everything about the deck is unhit, right? So you just have
I
like
think Ash is pretty good.
what?
Opponent needs very specific and Blois needs very specific and to beat Ashen Wishes most of the time.
I mean,
Like it needs to
I
be
mean,
very
if
specific.
you hit Ash on wishes, they a lot of the time will already have like the what is it called the drill beam. Sometime they'll have the level 9 synchro. Like they will keep the trap. For the drill beam trigger. I still think that they will keep like a bunch of stuff. And that's kind of the weak part. If you use like an Ash and they still end on like 4 disruptions on top of possible hand traps, I think that's kind of a weak
I mean,
Ash.
you still have to play Ash regardless, you know.
Yes, no, you have to play Ash, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But like the thing is that like hand traps in general can be very weak against Blue Eyes right now, simply because everything is just at 3. Like I think, like a bit of a hot take here, but I think the most problematic card in in Blue Eyes engine is Maiden.
Mm, I mean,
Maiden
problematic.
is like the deck's popular, right? It's a free special summon every turn, right? Because you triggered it. It's a set a trap from the deck, like activate the trap from the deck. So it plays around Ash, it plays around like a lot. You can't hand trap Maiden, basically, right? So, and even if you do like deal with the trap, even if you do Ash the Wishes, for example, you still get the Maiden effect or Reborn. So like you still get plays regardless of what you do to the trap. Just the fact that the Maiden went through, you know. So, and I think you only really start feeling the difference when you play a deck like, as said, Memento, that doesn't play too many hand traps, because you realize just how tough it is to like hand trap the deck if they open Maiden.
Yeah, but that's like I I don't I don't know how Typhoon solves that issue. Like if you're like I'm trying to get to the to the point. I'm trying to justify playing this card. And like Maiden is very strong, obviously. Um, but I don't think that is the popular of the deck. The reason why Blue Eyes is so strong is that your like every single one of your extenders also works as one card combo.
Uh,
So like you know every extender you have is a card that can usually be just one card combo. Because I don't know, they Veiler your link one. I don't know, Universal Burial, Veiler Burial, make link one, Veiler link one, and then if you have Maiden, it's a whole ass new one card combo. It's not like you are not usually extending from the place that you got stopped. You're just creating like new board entirely, and that is what makes the deck so strong and resilient to disruption
yeah,
most of the
and
time.
it's
Because
like
your extenders don't have any requirements usually.
yeah,
Like you know.
it's a bit similar to like Snake Eyes. Obviously, not as strong as Snake Eyes extenders, but it's very similar to Snake Eyes in the sense of like starters also work as extenders, but because everything is at 3, it just feels miserable, right? Like it was like when Snake Eyes had everything at 3, like 3 bonfire 3, like it was miserable to hand drop.
Yeah, yeah, but obviously, like I think the power level of Blue Eyes is
Much
much,
much much lower, yeah, obviously.
much lower. Ceiling is lower, but you can, like, you are not usually forcing your way through shit as Snake Eyes does. You are mostly playing around shit by by just having cards in your hand, because Snake Eyes always tries to brute force their way through disruption to end on what like on the end board that the deck is supposed to end on, while Blue Eyes has the end board flexibility where you don't necessarily have to ram through disruption. You can just decide to play around certain cards and then just make your end board different.
Yeah.
Depends on what you are trying to beat.
So moving on to another deck. What do you think of Tempai right now? And I don't mean Tempai as in like in ladder, because I don't think like Tempai right now is the smartest option in ladder, right? But I've been playing a bunch of Challenger Cups, and Tempai is still relevant there. So just in general, what do you think of Tempai? I think Tempai is still like kind of like a hanging on kind of deck, simply because it does something very unique, and it's the fact that like when your plan is to go second, there is no deck better than Tempai at that.
Um, I mean, yes, but at the same time, the deck sucks into Blue Eyes. Matchup is very, very weird. You have to kind of build your deck to beat Blue Eyes, as you did like to beat Snake Eyes in the previous format and stuff. But I just think that Drill Beam is very, very strong unless you can see Droplet. So I don't know. Also, now with Impulse, like you obviously wanna play Impulse, but you right now you still wanna play Ghost Ogres, and Nibiru's and stuff. You need all those high impact hand traps. So there is some anti synergy with that as well. Consistency issues, obviously, lack of
Yeah.
extenders. Uh, you currently have four cards that extend in your deck. You have one Kaiman, one Sengin Summoning, and two Gold Sarks. So, and like those two Gold Sarks, you know.
Yeah. Also, I see somebody in chat saying the Finsmith Tempai Bestial. So the thing about those kind of Tempai versions is, I think if you play Tempai as anything but pure, you make the deck weaker. Simply because you're you're doing you're adding stuff to the deck to make it lose to things that it doesn't usually does lose to, right? So for example, the reason why like Tempai is so good is because you normal summon Chandra, like after you drop it, for example, and there's so few hand traps that actually beat normal summon Chandra, right? Like if you board gets wiped, you won't have an imperm, so it's either Veiler or like Bust, because they will play through an Ash, right? They will play like Chandra doesn't like care about Ash kind of thing, they will like beat like ogres, in some situations, and it's the fact that Tempai plays so well into hand traps, whereas like it doesn't care about Max C as well, so adding stuff like Finsmith will just weaken the deck, because then you'll just like activate your like you'll play less hand traps, and then you'll just activate Tract or Engraver just to get ashed, and there goes your whole
The,
Finsmith line.
yeah, the thing is that Tempai Finsmith is completely different deck from Tempai. Like it's supposed to be going first control deck that's played with Bestials. In Master Duel we tried something different, while like to play Finsmith cards as maybe Beatrice access, so you can go Princess. So that's another thing. Maybe even when your opponent doesn't know you're on Tempai, maybe they use some of their disruption on that, and then you can resolve the main combo. But I think that Finsmith Tempai is just not good enough,
Yeah, like
because
I
I
even I
don't
was even
think that
having like a conversation with
Finsmith is good
some guy
enough.
in like a Twitch chat earlier today, and it was like, well, like people just don't know that you can turn any two bodies into any two level 3 bodies into like Tempai combo with like some Cherubini line. I'm like, if you have to do that, you lose to everything. That it's not Tempai anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's
you, you're
copium.
you're playing
It's
a
very
combo deck
copium.
going second, which is the whole point of why combo decks are bad going second. Why Tempai is good.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Tempe currently currently suffers from from the format issues. Like the hand trap that hurts Tempai is Ghost Ogre on the field spell, and the Ghost Ogre is in everybody's deck right now. Tempai doesn't like Dominus Purge. Blue Eyes is everywhere. Tempai doesn't like Ash. Every deck has Ash, you know. And also the best deck in the format plays well around a lot of hand traps. So even if you throw 3 hand traps at Blue Eyes, you're still gonna have to beat Drill Beam, for example, or Majesty non-target pop 2.
Yeah, that's
And like non-target pops are very good against Tempai. So it's just that the environment. I think that Tempai didn't lose much of its strength as much as format is currently not very good, and I don't think that's gonna change with Malice or Raziel either, because both of those decks also play pretty well into Disruption. So I think Tempai has to like I think by the time the meta shifts into Tempai's favor, the deck is just not gonna be enough anymore. So I think Tempai is
yeah.
kinda
And
oh 07,
like one of the other decks
as we know it.
is Snake Eyes Fire King. Now I see a lot of people like playing Snake Eyes Fire King, but to me, you're just playing a worse Snake Eyes Finsmith, right? You're just playing it for the fun. More power to you, like enjoy it. But it's never in to any extent competes with like Snake Eyes Finsmith, right?
It's different type of
It's
it's
because the
different type of deck because it looks for starters and extenders in different ways. You know, you play Azamina as another starter.
I
The
mean
thing is
you
that the
can
deck
play a
is
Zamina in Snake Eyes Finsmith as well, right? Like the 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 thing about
you
like
can, but it's not really optimal because Azamina. We talked about this, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I get it. But the thing is that Azamina does not change that it's like a -1 in around against hand traps in like fighting as well. But what does change in that is the fact that because your hand quality is usually terrible in the sense of like you will draw Garunix, you will draw your Kirin, which are not starters. You will draw like a bunch of normal summons like Volcanics, you know, like there's Oak, there's the Arbata, you know, there's Ponix and Ash, you know, like there's a lot of stuff that do end up like hurting your overall like hand quality, so you just play Azamina to like kind of improve upon that. Snake Eyes, like Snake Eyes Finsmith, does not like has such like a much better hand quality overall that they don't have to like resort to that pretty much, right? So I think
I mean, yeah,
I
kinda.
think the fact that you know like we are playing Azamina in Snake Eyes Fire King, you know, as like kind of the best way to play the deck, kind of speaks about the fact that the deck is just weaker, you know.
No, I mean we play Azamina because the reason why would you wanna play Fire King is Dominus Impulse, which you cannot run in Finsmith decks. And
And
while obviously it's pretty strong hand trap, I think right now Dominus Impulse is just not that great because meta decks don't care about it.
I mean,
When Malice comes, however,
I think in
I
general
think
like Impulse is better
yeah,
than Purge, right? But
meta dependent.
I mean,
They're both crazy good cards,
obviously meta dependent,
but
right?
very meta dependent which card is better. I don't think in vacuum Impulse should be better than Purge, but it's not that far off. You know, they're very very close, like in terms of power level, I would say.
And yeah, but like the fact that like Fire King does not like plays Impulse is like Impulse in my opinion is not good enough to like compare to like a Fiendsmith engine, right? Like it's probably the strongest engine in the game versus a good hand trap, and like a three of a good hand trap is not good enough, I think, to compare with that. So
Yeah,
Snake Eyes Fire King is
yeah.
just like always kind of in the back foot, in my opinion, right? It's it's a good pick if people want to play it, you know, you can do well, but like once you like play the deck, you will see just how much worse the hand quality is overall, right? Which
Yeah, yeah,
and hand
that's
quality is like a very
fair,
very
yeah.
big factor in the current meta, right? Like her hand quality like defines a good deck, I think, right? If you don't have a good hand quality like a lot of the time, then your deck is just not good, simply put, right? Because you'll lose to one hand trap, you know, you will lose to like going second a lot more often, you know, like
Yeah, I mean that's Master Duel issue way more than anything. But yeah, I would say with Snake Eyes Finsmith losing Beatrice, I also think that their hand quality uh is much lower. I just don't think that people know what to stop because people are still stopping Finsmith when it doesn't mean engine. Usually instead of stopping a real engine.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and also obviously, Finsmith version is better going second because you can simply run more non-engine. I guess so. That's also a big factor. You can run more hand traps. You can run talents. I mean, you can run talents in both decks, but Fire King requires higher deck count, but
Yeah.
lower hand trap count, while you can
Yes, yes.
play less cards in Finsmith and more hand traps
Hmm.
in general. But yeah. I think it's a like I don't know, it's a very fun deck to play. It's not terrible deck to play also.
Yeah, it's like
However,
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's kind of like a fun strong pick, you know. Like I wouldn't really take this to tournaments if I'm taking this seriously, you know, by no means. But I think it's like if they enjoy the Fire King deck, I think they can perform well. You know, like Snake Eyes Fire King did win my GB championship, so like the deck definitely can perform. It's just a case of like you know there's just better options.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's yeah, I mean it all depends on your playstyle, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
obviously Blue Eyes and Snake I said different playstyle.
And actually, something fun about the Master Duel meta tier list is I think it's correct in the top four, right? So like the ordering is like a bit like weird because you know like obviously Blue Eyes should not be this far ahead, but the fact that Blue Eyes and Snake Eyes are the two best decks, and then top three and top four, in my opinion, are also correct in being Snake Eyes Fire King, and then the fourth best deck being Memento. I think Memento easily the best new deck from the pack, right? So like in counting, I'm gonna count even at Emancipator because of Block Dragon, right? But like so like Centurion, what was the other deck? Uh Frick. The Sharks, you know, obviously Sharks are ass, you know. Adam Emancipator and Memento easily the best deck of the four, right? Uh
Yeah.
a very like high roll kind of deck, right? There's hands that will lose to one hand traps, and then there's hands where you know I had a game like yesterday on stream where I played through four hand traps and still did full combo, right?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like Ritual Beast was but I
Um,
the thing with Memento is
yes,
I don't think that for example, for Ritual Beast, I think the time you invested in the deck directly reflected on how like you got proper reward. I don't think that the time you invest in Memento will is worth it for a deck in that is not either the best deck or like at least the second best deck. Because like you obviously have to invest much more time in learning Memento than Blue Eyes. So I don't think that like investment and return are you know um,
yeah, it's in the sense of like it's
reciprocal. I
it's
would
too
say.
high effort. It's kind of like how Branded has always been in that weird spot of like super high effort for little return because you know that it's been like seven, like eight formats for now that Branded just has not been the best deck. You know, ever since Snake Eyes released, you know, Branded just stopped being the best deck. It could always compete, but it was like so much more effort for like less reward, right? And at that point, you could just also play other decks. But the fact
I
that
mean,
like Memento is still like a very very solid pick does not change in my opinion.
no, I think it's all right. It is okay. It's like in my opinion, it's like Fire King level okay. You know, if you enjoy Memento, if that's the type of deck you wanna play, Memento is the go-to. You know,
Yeah, so
for that type of deck.
I'll say it like this. So obviously, Snake Eyes aside, I think it's the best combo deck in the format.
Um,
Because I don't consider Blue Eyes combo deck. It's more of a mid range kind of
I
deck, right?
mean, yeah, I guess but I think that's solely based on the fact that we don't really have a lot of combo decks.
I mean, we
We have
do
Adamant
have,
Invader,
like
it's
Adamant Spader is still in the game,
garbage.
like White Forest is still in the game, there's a bunch
Yeah,
of
but
like combo decks.
all those decks are, you know, so. They are not that
Yeah,
amazing.
like obviously, but it's just the fact that like it's still the best combo deck in the format for me because it has a very very like it can break boards with engine, right? Just with engine, it has a very good like plays with super poly, and I think super poly is very good right now, right? It has good dodging, so you can actually beat Blue Eyes fairly consistently, assuming they don't go full combo and you don't have super poly, right? So like if it's just like a regular board of Blue Eyes, you can usually beat it even through Drill Beam simply because you have so many ways to dodge the Drill Beam, right? So like you have the Bomb Party which can dodge, you have the Fusion which can dodge, and usually you can just like play through a bunch of stuff. However, it does suffer from the hand quality like issue, right? That's like the big issue of Memento, right? It's if you see Bone Party and Fusion in your hand along with other names, the hand instantly becomes broken. If you see all normal summons, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the best way to explain it. Yeah.
Yubel is also combo. I mean, okay, so Yubel also is like a strong contender for like best combo deck in the format outside of Snake
No,
Eyes.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
it's I do
No.
think that Memento is like slightly better. It's
Yubel is
it Yubel can feel
Yubel is
Yubel can feel miserable going
yeah.
second.
I'm gonna put it this way: Yubel is a deck that you would dismantle if you need URs at this point. The deck is never going to be like as good as it once was in that one format. And with the new decks, in the site, it's not gonna get any better. It's also like it's genuinely it's just the worst Snake Eyes Fire King.
Yeah,
Like if you run shit ton of bricks, you can't go second for shit. Uh, Sometimes you die to one hand trap. Your extenders are very low quality, for most part. So I don't know.
Memento
It's just
Memento is
it's just
terrible without the spells that dodge. I mean, yes, but I mean, you play 3 3 3. That's like what, like 8 to 9
nine.
cards that dodge. Sometimes you can use Super Poly as like a way to dodge, which is also really good. It's just that it's kind of the trick of the trade. Like it can be rough sometimes to play the deck, but it's like still like a very good deck because good hand mementos will play through a lot of stuff, right? Whereas you can't really say the same about Blue Eyes. I'm sorry about Yubel or like White Forest or like White Forest. I don't think I've seen a White Forest player win going second, like against like anything decent board. Mm,
Yeah,
so
that's yeah. That's
whereas like
definitely the case.
like the other decks that kind of came out with that, like Sharks obviously always was intended for a meme deck, like he is kind of a meme deck, like we'll leave that to Lumpy can have some fun with that, what I'm saying, like. But the other two decks, Adam Emancipator and Centurion, like Adam Emancipator is one of those decks that like people will swear up and down that it's broken and it cooks and this and that, but bro, like I'm not gonna lie, the stonks are down the shitter.
The Stonks are definitely down to shitter. That deck is once again the hand quality issue. Hand quality is garbage, bro.
So
It's so
what
bad.
what happens what happens in this kind of deck, right? Is this deck first started out like when they unblock when I unbanned the block dragon. This deck started out as basically three Koakimeru supplier. It was a deck filled to the brim with half extenders, right? There was almost no card that was one card combo besides the Millennium Engine, right? And like obviously the Super Heavy Engine, but Super Heavy Engine like had other issues. When you're playing the Super Heavy Engine, a lot of the time it felt like you were playing a worse Super Heavy deck, right? Because you're playing less hand traps, you're playing less extenders, you're playing just a whole like Super Heavy cards were the good part of the deck basically, right? And the other one was obviously Millennium. Millennium, honestly, one of the best engines we've seen like in recent times. Uh, just in general, super super good cards. But even those, like, unless like if you don't see the Millennium cards, you're stuck with hands like Zeno Guitar, Koakimeru Supplier, and Koakimeru Guardian. And then it's like, okay, so
Yep.
these three cards don't start, don't extend, and the only thing that these things do is make you want to take a bath with your toaster, right? And then it's like, okay, so I mean, okay, what if you like start with I don't know, with the researcher, right? And then okay, so you normal summon researcher, you activate the effect, you whiff, it's that's it, it's over. You pack it up, you go cogwheel into scoop button into change the deck.
Oh, cool. Cool. Crazy. Yeah.
So it's it just felt like you're playing a weird version of a combo, like an old combo deck, right? Because this is kind of what like combo decks used to feel like. You know, it's like a deck that played like good cards, but like none of them properly extended or started the combo. So it just felt like you're playing a very very outdated Yu-Gi-Oh playstyle, right? And now recently, from what I'm hearing at least, is they're cutting down on things like if you see like they're cutting down on like Koakimeru suppliers. Like they went from like three ofs, like which is like, this is like a three of like all of them. Now it's like 50% in. Like so they're cutting down on suppliers. They're cutting down a bit on Zeno guitars. They're playing just like less cards that don't properly extend, and then they're trying to play like more starters, extenders, trying to like still figure out the deck. But honestly, it's like it just doesn't it just doesn't feel like a properly good deck simply because you're playing a lot of cards that don't do much on their own,
Yep.
which is just not modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Like you look at Snake Eyes is
Yeah.
like Snake Eyes Dash is everything you ever want. Diabell is everything you ever want. We fucking Bonfire is like starter extender, whatever you fucking
No,
want. Like
I'd say Adam is like Spiral to an extent. Like you are
yeah, it's
putting
like
all your eggs into one basket,
pretty much yes. It's
essentially.
it's like, as I said, like Spiral is a very good example, yeah, because like it's just an old combo deck, right?
Yep.
Like for example, like you play cards in Spiral that don't start or extend combos. They're just like, oh, half extenders, right? They're just like, oh, they do something, as extenders, but they don't actually give you full combo as extenders, right? So it's just a very, very like old Yu-Gi-Oh playstyle, I think, which is it just doesn't really work out. And as for Centurion has always struggled with one main thing, and that's the end board is just not good enough. Now they actually have like a pretty decent-ish end board, but it doesn't really change the fact that like it's not that there's no real reason to play this over like any other deck, pretty much. Get us is yapping like
Yeah.
crazy.
There is
Okay, let me
basically
time
no
him out.
reason.
Let me time him out. Let's just time get out. We delete. Timeout for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Let's go. Also have a get up. So yeah, Centurion just like very very like weird mid-range deck, right? It's a mid-range deck that kind of banks on the fact that Bestials will kind of like do a lot for the matchup, right? Like if Bestials do a lot of the matchup, like Centurion is very good in my opinion, right? But then if Bestials are just not enough, and then it's like it's a deck, like it
Yeah.
Bestials
Very
like
so-so.
Centurion can also be like very good against decks that do not have an out to like Light and Darkness Chaos Angel. Like the amount of games, like because I used to play like a version of this deck, right? But the amount of decks, the amount of games that a Light and Darkness Chaos Angel can carry is actually like baffling, right? Because they're just like a lot of decks don't really like have an out to this. However, Blue Eyes has like a billion ways to out this, right? Like you have Drill Beam, you have the Majesty, you have like,
Yeah, that's not really a problem for boys
like yeah.
in general. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's a decent deck. It's a very like it's still like a solid pick for like a mid range kind of style. But it's not exactly really the good performer. It's kind of like in that kind of midway where it's like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. I think, you know. But um yeah. So now moving on to like the overall results from what people have been doing, like we can kind of see what has been performing well, and as I said, like the top four I think are correct in the sense of like what's been performing well in tournaments is like Blue Eyes, Snake Eyes, and Memento. In my opinion, the top four, and then you have like the other like this is where I feel like comes the jank, right? Like you'll have Emancipator, White Forest, Finsmith. I don't even know what Finsmith is. Is it just like the hand trap version? Primite Finsmith.
It's just
Just,
bestial things.
yeah, just like Finsmith good stuff kind of thing, right? You're just playing Primate for the White Dustin because it's a light fiend. Actually, insane work.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And then like Tempai, Centurion, Branded. This is kind of like the jank, like kind of things where it's like anything will just perform good at this point. Outside of the like obvious good ones, right? It's however there is one big thing here. So let me just like show you guys, right? So we have um freak. Where can I find it? Um wait, I'm trying to find like a deck. Late deck in the ends. Ayo, nah. Wait, I'm trying to find the top one the top one deck list in rated. I'm trying to find the list. I don't know where I fucking put it in my Discord.
Dealing deck list?
Yeah, the dealing deck list. Do you have it?
It's on Trisha's Twitter.
Oh, I don't even follow this on Twitter. I think. Wait a second, because I know it was on stream. Is the brave choice, brah? Come on. Um,
AB Disco. True.
It'll be fine, boys. Come on. Um, is Dragon Link rising back? So the thing with Dragon Link is that it will just farm Blue Eyes because of how many bestials it plays, right? Like you will start with banishing their maiden, banishing their Blue Eyes, and then you have like two bodies on the field, right? Uh, you know. On the other hand, though, it's I think I can find it like this. Yeah, I think I'll find it like this. Because I know somebody posted it on my Discord, so I'll just try to find it. Okay, there it is. Wait, no, this is not it. This is not it. Wait a second. Mm-hmm. Wait, where did it go, bro? Because I know it was here. Ah, there it is. So, like, this whole deck just like does feel weird in general, though. Like I used to play like bestials before, right? I mean, I used to play dealing before, like for a whole duelist cup, and stuff like that. But like this whole list does feel very weird in the sense of like it plays two chaos spaces and then like like triple of the dragons, like three white dragons and two black dragons. And like
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
don't,
I
I
think
just
it's
don't
fine.
get it.
I think
Like
it's fine. I don't know.
I think the reasoning behind this, right, is the fact that you're playing like because there's Purge and Ash, that you gotta worry about in this meta. Chaos Space can just feel like the Meg one, right? Grass, on the other hand, I still don't understand. There's like so little things that you can like actually trigger with the grass, but hey, maybe if
Yeah,
it's working out for him,
grass. I think it's wrong, but I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe
And then it's like um
maybe you can maybe you can mill Beryl and then revive it with Pisty if need. I don't know.
I think
Like maybe
with
it's
grass
just
it's mandatory to play snow. Yeah, if you grass mill snow, that's one thing, but I don't think snow is like good in dealing to begin with, right? But and then there's the other thing, which like the extra deck is also weird. Like I don't know, like we're playing the roar. I mean the spirit, with a field spell, but like, what does the field spell even normal summon? You know, like what can you even normal summon with the field spell?
no. I think the thing is if you start with Beryl, get your setup and then you get like a light for the collapse serpent maybe
I think
something
I
like
think the
that.
point of the it's just bait, surely. We just play cards for the bait. But I think that the point of the field spell is maybe to just get the blue eyes in the graveyard so that you can like reborn it, and then you get like plays with the with the baby dragons or bestials. That's
Yeah,
probably it.
maybe.
Yeah, so that's
I mean,
probably it.
there
Is
is
what I'm gonna
also
assume.
the Kosumoki dragon, the first card in the list.
The first dragon,
Uh,
the point of this guy is just to like be special summonable by the Lordy Load
yeah,
or the roar, right? So the roar does special summon both, like both of these guys, but like because this guy is a level 4 lower dragon, dark dragon, you can just special summon him and like combo from there. It can pretty much give you a full combo. Like this plus any normal summon can pretty much give you a full combo. You know, not using good blue eyes art is insanity. I mean, it depends on whether he has it. So like I don't know, like overall, like he's playing like only one Druid Swarm. Besides the fact that I think like the point of this deck is to like have Bestials, and he's not playing more than one Druid Swarm. That is always weird. Like he's choosing triple Nib instead, which I don't think is that good in this format. I just don't really know. Like there's a bunch of things wrong with this list. Like he's playing the Dilly, he's not.
I don't think it's wrong. I think it's fine, but
It's like an height thing,
I
but it's one
think
of those cards that you don't really need in dealing, and you would just rather like save the space for other cards.
yeah, it's all right.
And
It's
like not playing
not the best
Baron,
list
like
ever,
I
but
I don't really know. Like not playing IP either.
I mean IP was all you can play IP. I saw Trish cutting some stuff and putting some other stuff in for the extra deck, specifically
Yeah,
the
it's like I
Dillinger.
also built this list, and then I just kind of changed around some stuff. But I mean, hey, this is the most shocking performance. you know Out of everything that's
Yeah,
been like performing,
it
this
works.
is
You
the
know,
top one list in rated right now. Can't
I don't know
argue
if
with
it's still
results.
top one.
Cannot argue with results.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah. um Now we also got to do a bit of a ban list talk. Like we should be getting a ban list this week, right? I believe it's this week, right? Yeah, this week. So what do you think will be on the ban list? Do you think it'll be just like a troll ban list, just for the, like ahaha?
Um, that heavily depends on the next pack. Depends if they want to release nothing. Uh, by nothing I mean anything but Malice and Ryziel. Yeah, the balance is gonna be nothing.
Okay, so you think the balance is just gonna be like just random stuff like Pearly Trap to like, I mean Pearly Delicious to like 2 or 3, for example, just something that does really impact the meta, right? Because
Yeah, something completely irrelevant, I
yeah,
would say.
I think it's like I do kind of like Master Duel in the sense with those kind of stuff that like it doesn't just forget to bring back some stuff that's kind of forgotten, unlike TCG, it does
Yeah.
it does remember to like bring cards back, but there was also some talk. What would you think about Merly coming back to 1?
Nope. No. No.
Do you think
Fuck no.
like I don't think it would be best deck, but it could
I,
be
I,
fun.
I don't want it. I don't want it to be anything. Is the thing. I just no. The culture of bringing back decks that should be dead is so irritating to me. Like that deck should die. We should not have decks like Snake Eyes and Tear in the game that last forever.
I
Like those are the type. Those are eternal decks. Like Snake Eyes for the past year, Tear since 20, like we have to kill problematic cards. They instead of unbanning Barley, I say we ban Kit. On God. On God, they should double down and instead of giving them back Marley, ban Kit. Or give
Bar
them back
Rhino.
Marley but ban Kit Talos. Like it is so dumb to keep all same stuff relevant. Like Tyr has been in every meta since it was released. Like smaller or bigger part, Tyr was
Yes,
there.
yes,
Like
yes,
Tyr was
yes, yes,
playable.
yes.
I don't know, man. Dots and circular should stay at 3 forever. Card does nothing. It sucks. Martek
Uh,
is bad.
okay. Bro, spreading the fucking propaganda. Uh, and okay, so you said that it should be a joke ban list, assuming they don't drop Raziel, right?
Yes. If they are
So,
planning to release either Malice or Raziel, I can see them limiting Bonfire as a way to tone down Raziel because we already have 7 Tachyon for consistency, but at the same time hitting Snake Eyes. I can see them limiting doing the OCG hits while they limit their Bellstar. For example, and I think that should be enough. I think if they touch any more consistency of Snake Eyes, the deck completely loses balance and is just out of the meta. For the like forever. Like it's I think Snake Eyes as strong as it is, it's still in a very fragile state right now. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, it has almost every card hit. It's getting the branded treatment where it's like every third, every other like Snake Eyes card has hit to some extent. Like Snake Eyes is hit, Bonfire is hit. Like
Yeah.
um
I think they're going into right direction via killing Snake Eyes. I think they should make space for new decks. And as I said, we need complete format reset. So if they're planning to release something like Mermail or some shit, I don't think they're gonna kill Snake Eyes yet. I think Snake Eyes will be around as long as we don't have Malice and Raziel.
yeah. Okay, second. Okay, and what is like one thing you want to happen? Not something that you expect to happen, but something that you want to happen in terms of ban list. Like something that you just want to go on.
Uh,
Like just your
something
just your
that I want
personal
to
thing.
go.
It can also be a hot take.
I'm not going to say Maxi because that's obvious.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like
Um, but I think that I want Kid gone. I want Sprite Elf gone. A Beast Dweller, like as a pre-hit to Raziel. Apollousa like one of those cards, and like Star of the Night, Kashtira Unicorn. Like that's my wish list, and also it wouldn't hurt if they put D Fisher and Macro back to one. That also wouldn't hurt, but yeah, I think that's about that for my wish list at
Honestly,
least.
it's kind of shocking how quickly Unicorn just jumped to like one of the most hated cards in Master Duel.
I mean,
It's actually
you
shocking.
know why?
It all
You know
it
why?
all started with Snake Eyes.
Because they love they forced us to play so many engines in our decks where like if you remove one card from opponent's extra deck you effectively kill like third of their deck to begin with. So people started hating Unicorn, and it all started during the March Duelist Cup last year.
Hmm.
That was I would say the breaking point where
Yeah,
people like
basically like
realized
Snake Eyes Snake Eyes dropping kind of like did that.
Yes, but the thing is, there is not many decks that can actually like run Kashtira as Snake Eyes did. Giving you a bunch of free bodies, Bird being a free send for Snake Eyes names.
Yeah.
There is like Snake Eyes really took Kashtira engine like to its fullest potential. Like it really, you
Mhm.
know, it really used
It
every card of the engine.
yeah, it showed that Fenrir was never the problem card. Like Fenrir is to one, Fenrir was never the problem card.
Yeah.
Like it was like people were like slapping Fenrirs in every deck they could, but the real problem was actually Unicorn, because it was a kind of like playstyle that it was a very like big annoyance in like what it did, right? For example, like you would have to play, for example, like certain decks, like you would have to play, for example, branded. One would be banished on your turn, and one would be banished on the opponent's turn, and that would go your two mirror jades. And branded cannot play without mirror jade. The deck is mirror jade, right?
Yeah, Unicorn is
Yeah.
like I
And the
genuinely
the
think
other
that
problem is that, for example, like Unicorn enabled full combo after getting impermed on Snake Eyes Ash, which shouldn't be a thing.
yeah, yeah, but generally like I think hand distraction, extra deck distraction should never, and also deck distraction should never be like should never be printed on good cards. Because that's the most toxic way you can play the game. Diablosis, type of shit. Even Levianir, like hand ripping you for one. uh, Unicorn ripping apart your extra deck. I just think that like limiting your opponent from playing the game in that sense is very, very unhealthy for the game in general.
Mhm.
It
And
just how yeah,
and one last
just the
thing,
core mechanic of the
if they
game.
were to hit Blue Eyes, what do you think they would hit? I personally only state my claim. I stand my ground. I think Maiden is the card that they should hit if they do. But if they do hit Blue Eyes, what do you think they would hit?
Uh, I mean,
Like obviously, Primite
they
is out of the fucking conversation, right? It's still in the shop. We all know it won't happen, right? But like, you know,
isn't Blue Eye still in the shop too, or no?
I don't think so
I
actually.
I don't think they will hit Maiden. I like if they were to hit Blue Eyes really, I can see them limiting Link One uh as a grind game hit. I can see them like trying to hit the grind game rather
Oh,
than
it is still in the shop. Oh, then never mind. Blue
and
Eyes is also still
and
in the
if it's
shop. Yeah.
still yeah, maybe stage to one to force you to play Piriraim up and play to draw harder. So like
Yeah, fair.
I can see something like that, but I don't think that the deck needs to be hit. I don't think I think it would be very stupid to hit Blue Eyes. Like this deck will be relevant until they release actual decks, and then after that the deck will still be all right, but it will not be good. Now, um, since they did basically force Blue Eyes to win Worlds in 2016, I can also see them trying to try to not release Malice and Ryziel until Worlds, which I know
Yeah. To
how
give to
that would
give
be
Blue Eyes a
possible
second Worlds win. Yeah.
to to make Blue Eyes bad. win the worlds. And if they do that, we're gonna live in a very boring world for the next couple of months.
It
I
needs to
don't
get
know.
hit. I'm sick of Blue Eyes. Yeah, but like if they hit Blue Eyes, we're already sick of Snake Eyes, and there's no winning. There's no winning. You gotta be sick of something. I'm sorry, but yeah, it is. Like I do agree with the with SNKage here in the sense of like Blue Eyes is so popular right now, bro. I'm sick of seeing it. It's only been a month. It's so fucking popular. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
No. That's directly a product of Snake Eyes being the best deck for a
Yes,
year.
yes, 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 absolutely.
The
Um,
same thing was happened with Yubel. Yubel didn't doesn't really have any like meaningful hits except Phantom to I guess.
yeah.
But when the deck came out, like everybody just dropped Snake Eyes to an extent and went and played Yubel for a month, and then everybody just went back to Snake Eyes.
Everyone realized why the deck was kind of dog shit. Like you were just
Yeah.
kind of playing like Snake Eyes with like more bricks.
Uh, it was stronger going first before Finsmith.
Yeah, it was stronger.
Uh,
It was stronger going first, but like most of the time you weren't losing going first anyway. So that was
yeah.
kind of. But Blue Eyes is bad. No, I'm sick of that. Um, Now moving on to like another topic of the. Oh wait. Wait, we are going to get Niciboy for the. We are going to get Niciboy here for the T2 coverage. Niciboy. But while Niciboy, joins, I'll just go through like a couple tournaments. So tournaments to look out for the rest of the week, boys. You have the Guild of Gurus. Info obviously in my Discord here. Let me just find it somewhere around here. Like there goes the Guild of Gurus. You have the whole schedule here more or less, right? Um, then you have the Duelist Wave, which are wait a second, which are the Cosmic Clash and the Maxless Mayhem. Both of these tournaments. Again, info in my Discord here, exclamation mark Discord. If you guys don't have are not in the Discord yet, in the tournament VC, in the tournament announcements chat. Wait a second. Let me just drag Mickey Boy to the VC here, right? And then we have obviously like Meta Weekly. Everyone knows about that. You have Labro Family Tournament, which is this one right here. Uh, you know, which actually just started. Like started like 2 hours ago. So like 3 hours ago. But the thing is that it's gonna happen again next week. So look out for that. Again, the info in the Discord. You have the Cloudy tournament, which I actually forgot to announce, but let me just show you guys. It's actually something kind of special here on the Cloudy tournament side because it's a $100 tournament this time. So is Nick even here? Nikki.
Yo. What's
Okay,
up?
so yeah, let me just finish doing this real quick. So, Cloudy is doing a $100 tournament this time. So obviously, I'm gonna make the announcement right after I end stream here. So $100 tournament, in the usual time that she does, like 3 p.m. EST, like 1 hour after Meta Weekly on Sundays, right? That's how you can think of it. So that's $100 tournament that right there. And also the last one, and obviously not least, is a tournament hosted by Mickey Boy. Mickey Boy
Uh,
is hosting a tournament called the T2 Trials Challenge, because or T3 as we call it, because Think Twice Trials T3, and it's actually happening on. Actually, I'll let Mickey Boy like do the explanation for this tournament. Mickey Boy, you take it over.
yo. Is my sound quality good?
It,
Because
sh-
I'm
it
very.
should be fine. Should be fine.
Okay, yeah. So guys, on Saturday, 7 p.m. European time, there's a tournament from me and Kiddos. It's free for everyone. Made the tournament because in the T2 trials we have off season right now. I mean, what I mean off season, we have a break week. So like 1 week before the top cut, I decided to like, yeah, let's host the tournament. Why not? And for the prizes, I was thinking I would take my prizes that I got from my NA Challenger Cup because yeah, sometimes I'm on a business trip to NA, the drill guys. Like sometimes I'm living there, sometimes in Europe, like I'm Mr. Worldwide literally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
So
they do call him Mr. Worldwide, yeah, because he's fat. Huh? What?
huh? I'm
Hmm?
sorry.
What?
And yeah, so I decided to like give away my like plushies and sleeves and all these kinds of shit because I don't need it and Kidon also doesn't need it. So we were like, yeah, why not? So I don't know if you have like the start.gg link, if you can maybe post it in chat or something,
Yeah,
if it's
it's I
possible.
mean, it's
Uh,
just it's in the Discord. People can just join. Like again, chat again, fellas. Uh, in the tournament announcement, you can find info about all of these, right? About all the tournaments I just
yeah,
mentioned, including the Tito trials. Like you have the picture of the pricing here. Obviously the start G link. So it's
yeah,
right there. Thank you, Maybach, for pinning the Discord in chat.
love you. Yeah, so
So
like I said, can I finish one thing?
what?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So like I said, it's like free to play, right? Like the only thing you have to do is like follow me and Kenneth on Twitch or something. Literally free. Why not play it? We're gonna stream it both together. And I mean, I'm looking out for at least like 70, 80 people. But if you get more, why not? I mean, I don't care. It's not my prize anymore. You can win it, guys. If you want to win it, let's go for it. I think the time is also good for NA and European people, I think. Like 7 p.m. European time is okay, I
Yes,
think.
7 p.m. European time is pretty good. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like insane to think that bro has won so many like fucking challenger cups. He's giving the prizes away. Like that's like bro is like farming that shit. Bro actually gonna start up a
Yeah.
business. Like Nikki could actually start up like a business, like a plushie shop. Like he's just gonna sell all his like plushies. Pretty much sponsored by Konami at this point. Infinite money glitch.
Yep,
um
yep, 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 yep.
yeah,
Thank you, Konami, bro,
yeah,
for the support
you
game.
just lucky boy, lucky boy things. Um,
Yeah, always lucky, always draw cards, play cards.
yeah,
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 I know the
yeah.
drill.
Like never won without drawing cards, bro. Like fucking
That's true, actually. I remember
yeah,
that.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, when I drew cards.
yeah,
Mm.
Can't believe
Yeah.
you drew cards 70 times during the Duelist Cup, bro.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, 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 yes. A lot of times. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Always lucky. But who cares about DC Cup when you win Meta Weekly, right? RGB.
Exactly,
True.
exactly, exactly.
Or no, bro. That's even more Mickey Mouse. You have to win
Factory Cup?
the Guild of Gurus Factory Cup. Yeah, Factory Cup.
Factory. Yes, exactly, bro. Factory Cup is crazy. That's the
Yeah,
highest
yeah,
amount of
yep, yep,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
yep, 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 yep. That's the pinnacle of it's like winning worlds basically.
Yeah,
Exactly.
real format. Some would say.
Did you already talk about T2 Trials League for real?
Um, we're actually just gonna get into that right now. So
W.
now, for everybody who doesn't know, does he know? Does he know? Everybody spam does he knows in chat. So for everybody who doesn't know, it's the we're starting playoffs next week in T2 trials, right? And that means like it's top 16. The bracket is ready. This is the bracket, and we're actually just gonna be going over all the matches here, and honestly, like a bit of prediction. So, um,
My
just
first question,
yeah,
how do you like the drawing? Did me and Kidot cook? Think it was good?
the
You like
the
it?
the bracket.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's a good bracket or do you think it's like it could be improved?
You mean the design or like the drawing of
The
the
pairings.
the pairings?
The pairings.
Um,
I think there's clearly one better side, right? Maybe.
uh, yeah. Also, two Asian teams. Did Gera make this part? The two Asian teams playing against each other.
Yeah, I don't know, Gary.
So this is not
Yeah,
Gera's
Gerard
doing.
likes to watch.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I look at these top 16, I think every match is nice. Like I like the fact that we have like a bigger top cut, right? We have top 16. Like it's probably the biggest top
Yeah,
cut of
yeah,
all team leagues.
Yeah, pretty much.
maybe.
Pretty much. I think so.
But still, we managed to like at least get like, I mean, we have like at least 10 to 12 teams that are like conceptually good, and I would say like if you ask me right now who's going to win the tournament, I don't have a clear answer actually because there are a lot of teams that can cook, you know.
I mean, I do, I
So
do,
yeah.
I do. Obviously, the
Mhm.
United We Stand is gonna win. They do have like EarlGB. Like great guy.
Mm.
Like they say also very sexy. But that's besides the point. Like they like obviously clear winner here. W jinxing. I'm sorry if you guys lose. I did not. It's not me jinxing it. Trust. So yeah. Uh, let's look at the matches one by one here, right? So we have BOF, Box of Frauds versus Ivory Tower. So Ivory Tower, third best Chinese team, I think you said, right?
Yes.
Or like second, something like that.
No, first. I think they're third best, but they never played like in like Western tournaments, you know. Like they only played in China and like shit in Chinese leagues or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they decided to like join us for like some Western tournaments. And I mean, to be fair, they went like 3-2 or 2-3, but their group was pretty much stacked. And I mean, they got third place in the group, so they deserve to
So
advance.
so
But they
between
got a hard
between
opponent, I would say.
between Box of Frauds and Ivory Tower, who you got? To
I
not
mean,
be
because of sympathy, because like T2, you know, kind of like good friends with Boxer friends, you know. Because of sympathy, I would always say Boxer friends, but I think also that like the lineup of Boxer friends is crazy. They have a lot of like good players, and I think if they lock in, you know, if they play the best players, if they pick the best decks, you know, I think I probably have BOF winning there actually.
okay. So you heard it here first, chat. Biased tournament like organizer. If Box of Friends win, it's rigged. Like okay. So
I mean,
you guys know what to do. Okay. Um. Yeah. So, but yeah, I do also like think that BOF kind of has this in the bag, and if they don't have it in the bag, they will have at least the fries in the bag. So yeah,
Yeah, I have Ivory Tower for this one.
you have
sorry,
Ivory Tower. Okay, so
can
Mordred
you
the only
explain?
one dodging the racist allegations in this VC. Um,
Can you explain more?
No,
Model,
I
can you
mean,
explain?
can I what?
Why do you think they win? Can you explain?
I think they are they've been more consistent during the group phase, I would say, and that's why I give him advantage here.
look at chat. Look at
I-
chat.
they have the, they have like one player. Model used to. Okay, relax.
Bro, what the fuck?
Relax.
What the fuck? What do you mean? I have no idea
Bros,
what you
that
mean.
Mordred fell off.
Yeah, but if two of us pick Box of Friends, I mean, then Box of Friends gonna win, right? So yeah, two versus
uh,
one, you know.
yeah. I can get behind that. So then we have Labro family versus Cuddle Puddle. Honestly, I do think I have Labro family for this one.
Oh really?
Yeah. Not because I think
Okay, I
Labro
disagree.
family is like particularly a crazy team, but because I think Cuddle Puddle is kind of ass.
Not really. The thing is with Cuddle Puddle, I don't know. I think maybe they were not locked in. I think. But if you look at the roster as itself, sure, you only recognize probably like one or two players. But I still think quality-wise, like if they put in April, if they put in like there's one other player. I think it's Hyperia. It's his name. I think he's like 14-6 or something, or 14-5. He's like cooking in the bracket, you know. Um, so yeah, I got Cuddle Puddle actually, to be
bro,
honest.
bro, Nifros just said Earl finding ways to shit on two teams at the same time while predicting a winner. Hey, bro, it's a skill, bro. That's why they want me for these kind of things. Like the skill
He,
the skill is to like slander both. Uh,
he- he's not wrong though.
so yeah, but I don't like. Yes, you can say like Kadopara has some like good names, but I don't think LBF is actually ass. Like LBF is
No.
ended like X1, I think, right?
Yes, there. No.
Uh,
LBF is also good,
on
but
undefeated or,
I
or
think
like
now
undefeated, something like that.
No, 4-1, 4-1. They lost
for
once.
1, yeah. So like they're actually like a pretty good team as well, like a very very good team.
Yeah, they're
So
good. They're good.
so I do think that LBF kind of takes this one. And then we have the brain rot matchup here, you know, like fries in the bag
What?
versus Skibidi, you know, like I do wonder
Oh
if
my
like
God.
next season Skibidi is gonna like rename themselves to Tralalero Tralala, you know, or like Bombardilo Crocodilo. I don't know, bro, but
Bro, I will be their biggest fan, bro. If they rename into Bombardilo Crocodilo, bro, they have a new fan, bro.
bro, I'm saying, bro,
Bro,
like that they need to go for Tralalero for me, bro. Uh, Oh, actually, bro,
I mean,
if they rename themselves to Bombardilo, I want like another team to call Tralalero, bro, and like I will like I'll just like coach them to winning. Uh,
I don't even understand the logo from that team. Like this like Skibidi Sigma on the fucking logo, and then there's like a fucking I don't know what it even is. Like I don't even understand the logo.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna McDonald's gonna win.
yeah, I do think McDonald's gonna win. Like the Skibidi is not like a terrible team by any means. You know, it's like Evil Family renamed if I recall correctly, right? But like McDonald's is just secretly like a banger team. You know, like it's actually cracked.
Yes,
Like that's the
I
thing
mean they have
about
Yeah, when they're not putting fries in
McDonald's,
the bag,
right? Yeah, like
you know.
when they're not putting fries in the bag, they're putting W's, right? So
I mean
like
to be fair,
smart
to be
fella by
fair,
day, fart smeller by night, kind of thing. Uh,
if you think about it, McDonald's has a high amount of T2 players. So maybe
hmm.
that could say something. So yeah, they're gonna win.
I mean, okay.
Gonna win this game.
Half of them are also like ex WAD members, so
Yeah, but
that
what is watched? Like what? Like huh?
you know.
What?
So yeah. So then we have Team Frost Gaming versus Phoenix. Team Frost Gaming is actually a pretty good
Ooh.
team, but I think Phoenix takes
Yes,
this.
Yeah, Penis Gaming is one of my um favorites to actually win the entire thing.
Okay, so
is
I
it
so
think they're
really?
P-
I think they're secretly OP. I think when they have a good part of their roster in, I think they are like really dangerous in it, like against everybody.
yeah, I think
Yes.
yeah,
And
as,
I think we saw them in some previous tournament. Can't remember if it was third eye or something. I think they did beat the Ryan's team at one point. I'm not sure, but I think
I think they came
I
close. I
think
don't
they
think they
did.
won, but I think they came close.
Or,
Uh,
or that, but yeah,
and
everybody.
also they beat us in Bing Wars, so that
Yeah,
must.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah, they're good still.
T2 is kind of washed, so it's whatever, you know.
yeah. Tier
Yeah,
two, tier two.
Yeah, tier two.
yeah.
But yeah, the thing about Phoenix Gaming is like it's the only team I think with like two worlds players in the roster,
I think
right?
there
Who
is.
was first?
Oh no! Ah, wait,
I,
it's Banky, and I think Shoba USA is also in their
Yeah,
team,
yeah, yeah.
right?
yeah, but he's not. He didn't play at Worlds now, so it doesn't count. Okay, only one.
Yeah, yeah,
Only.
he is going to World, bro.
Okay, bro.
Also,
So I'm just gonna
also,
say how many meta weekly winners in that roster. That's all I'm saying. But
How many men?
also, question, important question. What place was this guy in BC Cup? Shuma Yusa. What was his ranking? Can you remind me?
okay,
Was
but
it first place or was it second?
DC Cup is Mickey format, bro.
No,
Like talk to
he
me
was
like meta
third, I
weekly like
think.
wins.
He
He
was
was
first place. He was
third,
third
yeah.
place, and he goes to Worlds, bro, and I got third. I don't. Okay, that's fair. Thank you, Konami, bro. Thank you, Konami, bro.
Hey,
Oh, bro.
Yes, yes, but Ryan and Tasuku play during your run, and but, like we were the
Yes,
first two.
Tazuku played, and he was hard stuck 40k. I don't know what.
Yeah,
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 but I mean,
Tasuku got
to be fair, that's because he just got baited by the White Forest, bro. He saw women, he started gooning,
Yes.
and he just got
Bro,
hard
he,
stuck.
he also baited me, bro. I was preparing White Forest like 2 weeks because of him, bro. I trusted him, and this is the first DC he fumbled, bro. Of course.
Hey,
Yes.
to be fair, bro. To be fair, bro, that's on you. Like you guys see white women and like unzip immediately. Like, bro, chill. Come on.
Bro, what do you
Yes.
mean those are kids? Shut up.
I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm sure there's a couple like overage women in there.
Actually, real.
So and then we have Canada versus Genesis of Eden. Of
Canada,
Elixir,
easy.
whatever it's called. Like I think Canada's kind of has this like easily, you know, like probably the best team in the league, you know. Uh, Easily Canada. I don't think there's too much room for arguing here. Like Canada is just like
Yeah.
always stacked. Like it's hard to find like a combination of Canada players that is not like very fucking good. So then we have
Unless they let Nash burn the kitchen, I think they have this one in the bag.
Yeah, they should win this.
yeah. To be fair, if they put Nash in the roster, they're fine as long as they convince to actually do like Among Us instead of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like you put Nash at Among Us, I don't think anybody beats him.
Yeah,
Like it's
but Nash is a kind of uncontrolled like player you cannot control. You know, you tell him to play one thing, he'll cook something up, and he might end up burning the entire kitchen.
yeah, that's what I'm
Or-
saying.
or
That's
really
that,
true.
that's what I'm
in
saying.
the
Like
past
like
game
if you put Nash in the lineup, like he's gotta like play Among Us, right? Because like Nash is like unbeatable at Among Us, bro. So yeah. Moving on to like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse versus All for One.
I think RBT is gonna cook. I have Mickey Mouse for this one.
Yeah, All for
I
One
got
is
All for
also
One.
like a crack team though. Don't they have?
No, no, no,
Doesn't
no,
All
no.
for One have the guy that's like undefeated?
No, not undefeated, but they went 5-0 in group stages. Also, they have like really good players.
Yeah.
I go with All for One. They're clearly better. Mickey Mouse got like third place in like their group. They were kind of lucky actually. Like they got really close into the top cut.
Yeah,
And I think All
their
for
group
One wins.
was kind of Mickey Mouse.
I'm going for All for One. Also, they're unbeaten, bro. And like I think they lost only one set or something, like in the whole tournament until now. That's pretty crazy, like if you think about it.
Yeah.
And they had a cracked group. They had like
Like
Espada,
All
Phoenix
for One is like
Gaming.
kind of slept on. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, they're pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. Like with Kidda, when I was talking with him, like I created the whole bracket already. Like, how do we think the tournament will end? And I think All for One will win this, but I think All for One will get knocked out in the next match after that. But they will win this one, I would say. Yeah.
Mm,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Okay, so then we have like
Don't
United We Stand
don't
versus BNE. I think easily United We Stand. You know, like
Non-biased, not biased at all. As
okay, so
Mm.
I'm just gonna talk in like stats here, like in like facts, right? So you go to like UWS like players like fucking like profile here, and you see Snake Eyes Finn Smith first place Meta Weekly. Nobody in BNE that has that.
yeah,
You
two
only
oaks,
won one
two oaks.
time?
He's like he won Worlds, guys.
You only
Uh,
won one match a weekly? You're terrible. What the fuck? Terrible.
because I go to
What?
sleep otherwise. So
What?
Meta Weekly wins, yeah. So yeah, BNE obviously like you can never sleep on BNE, but I think UWS just cooks. You know, there's like
No, I disagree. But I only like I think UVS has like crazy players, but like it's always the curse, right? You go undefeated 5-0, like never losing a set in the group stages, you know? And like it's always like the curse for like these tournaments. Where, like you go first place overall, and then you instantly lose the first round. So I'm saying B&E will win. Not because they're better, but like I think it's like the curse, you know? And you can never beat the curse.
okay.
So that's my
So
Curse
prediction.
of Ra.
chat,
Curse
if
of Ra.
if my team loses, Nikki leaked the deck list and he helped the other team. Okay, so spread the word. uh,
Real, actually real.
so yeah.
Bro,
He-
shit
but,
twice.
bro picked the favorite right now, bro. That's crazy. And you know like Nikki hit us with the like you know like when like some guy hates you and then he goes like, oh, I hope you don't fall down the stairs, you know. You know what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah,
Nick
that's me.
that's what Nikki just did, bro. You know.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I
Actually,
hope your entire family doesn't get infected by deadly disease in
Yeah,
game.
and
in game, man.
then it's like when you walk home, like surely nothing bad will happen. You'll just be like a very very normal. Nobody will follow you. Don't worry. And that's Nikki. So yeah, and then moving on to Chinese versus Espada.
That's crazy game. For real.
Honestly, I think I got the Chinese for this one.
Yeah.
It's hard
That's
not to bet on the Chinese.
it's
Mhm.
basically China versus Japan.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't
So
know. I know SCS how SCS plays a bit better than I know how Espada plays. But Espada is either the best team ever or the worst team ever. Like I know how to
yeah,
explain
yeah,
it. Like they either
they're like
they
they're
either
like
have
they're like the goats at playing or the goats at fumbling.
Yeah, like they either play like they won like every world so far, and then the next game they play like they have never touched Yu-Gi-Oh like in their life. I don't know what's up with
That's
that.
true.
Yeah, and
How
also,
many?
Mordred said that it's China versus Japan. Mordred is getting political. I'm sorry about that, boys. But okay, moving on,
Oh,
moving on.
you call
Okay,
them Chinese first. What do you?
I have a question. I have a question. How many gold icons does this matchup have? Like Espada has like four, I think, or like three. I think
I'm
SCS
not
have.
even gonna like attempt to count them. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's just a
Yeah,
lot on
yeah.
both teams, you know.
It's a
Yeah, this is.
crazy matchup.
I think
Crazy
this is
matchup.
secretly like a match of the top cut, like match of the top
Ye-
16.
It's sad that it happens in top 16 actually, because this is like a top four pairing. Um, but I think SCS takes it. Um, I mean, if you want to talk about it, I can give my prediction who will win the whole tournament. But I think
I think
SCS is.
okay. So the thing is that we're gonna have another like GBBC, you know, in 2 weeks. So right after
Mhm,
top
mhm.
16 is done, you know, as we're working with top 8, and that's when we're gonna make the prediction for the whole thing.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, final predictions, boys. Final prediction. You know, Box of Friends wins match 1. LBF which wins match 2. McDonald's wins
No,
match 3. Phoenix wins match 4. I just realized it's all the top teams. Canada wins. Bro, all the top teams. Okay, okay. I'm noticing a pattern here. I'm noticing a pattern.
No,
uh,
no, no, no.
because you know, like Canada all for one, UWS and Chinese, bro. Like it's every top
Wait,
team is
which team has special in it?
UWS, my team.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm playing with a handicap, but you know,
07 Soldier.
yeah, it's you know, like it's fine. We have Chris to carry. He makes up for the difference.
Price strongest.
Yeah, and yeah, we also have like 5 Memento players, bro. Memento's undefeated, best deck.
Ariel, just
mm,
bring 3 mementos.
Highest performing on the team, by the way. Okay, bro, don't make me call Gera here, and he'll fucking like banana cream you again, bro.
I Yeah, you can also, if you want, you can also take a look at the T2 site, with the statistics and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Did you have the link ready or something?
it's just t2trials.com, I think.
It's in the announcement.
Oh, yeah, wait,
Yeah, it's an announcement.
yeah, never mind, found it. Okay, so we have player rankings.
Yeah, I have player rankings.
Pesho the banana only 6th. So yeah, washed. Uh,
It says he played White Forest, but that's a lie because he played Stun.
he played stun. He just played stun. I don't know, like Pesho, how much
Uh,
did you pay the did you play Tauli to like write it as White Forest here, bro?
no, no, but that's actually no. It's a high performing deck. Like that's from the win rate perspective. Like it's the highest performing deck always.
There's no way Pesho's
So
performed
yeah,
better with White Forest and stun, bro. Like what? Not my stun
so
goat.
yeah, he
What?
played a lot of stun, but
Fluffles.
like White Forest. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, bro. We did just troll last round because like we were guaranteed to top anyway. So the fucking icon is so funny as well.
Fucking fluffy dog, bro. What the fuck?
Tralalero, tralala.
Who's the other guy talking? He sounds sexy. EarlGB, bro.
Hmm.
EarlGB.
But yeah, so that I think will be everything for tonight. I think we covered everything we kind of wanted to cover. It's Joey Kuzan, my new stun goat. Ayo.
Can you scroll down, please? One final time. Can you
Yeah,
scroll down at the bottom, please? At the bottom, please.
bottom. Okay.
Yeah, go to rock bottom, please.
Last place.
I mean, Mordred knows what will be like
Oh.
happening now.
My
My
goat.
God.
Damn. Okay.
Strongest, strongest player alive.
0 and
Yeah, but
minus.
he had the top 10 rated, so it's fine.
Real, actually real.
Yeah.
Me too. That doesn't mean I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yo, you know, 251 is crazy, bro. You know, and Victor Lee about the same win rate, bro.
World's players, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know read Victor Lee's book. That's why he performed so well.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
And then there's wait. Then there's wait. Where am I? Damn, I'm low. Okay, so I'm 160th. At least I'm better than Victor Lee. So I read the Victor Lee book twice. That's why I'm good.
Have you?
Yeah. So yeah, that will be all for today, boys. That will be everything. We kind of covered everything here. Where's the thing? No, fuck. So yeah, we covered everything we kind of wanted to cover here. We covered all of the meta, all of the tournaments. Again, join the Discord, link in the description down below or in the chat right now. And thank you to Mordred and Nikki for stopping by, and I will see you in the next GBBC. Bye bye.